Right to the final siren there.
Yeah, no, I'm really proud. I'm really proud of the players and what they were able to produce. Brisbane are a fantastic side and got a really clear system. And I thought we controlled a lot of the game. Other than those 3 goals in 3 minutes just before half time, I thought the players did a great job with momentum. They weren't able to score even though when they owned momentum. And then fortunately we were able to take some opportunities, kicked straight early. And so then when they got some momentum, we weren't too far away from them, and we had that belief that if we could stay with them for long enough, that the longer the game went, the more it would play into our hands. And I thought the performance of our collective playing group and their understanding of what they were trying to do and how we wanted to beat Brisbane was excellent.
So many... it's hard sometimes to see momentum swings. It looked like the start of the third term, I think Brisbane got to 17 points up. Did you see anything? Did you change anything, or something that let your guys suddenly swing that momentum back in your favour?
Yeah, the game, they weren't able to score, but they really controlled the first part of the second quarter, and we knew that it was not looking very good. So, we changed a couple of things, and then, for 10 minutes, we controlled a lot of the ball. I think the inside 50s was 10-2 in our favour. But then they went, as good sides can, they kicked 3 goals in 3 minutes, and earlier in the season, that would have really sapped our spirit. And so one of the most pleasing parts out of this game, against a really quality opposition, they got talent all over the field. And to come in at half time when we've worked so hard, but still we're 3 goals down. But to come out, Luke Bruce's leadership kicked a goal in 20 seconds in the third quarter, and that really created some energy into the players and gave that belief that, okay, this is within our grasp and we can get back into this. And I think we did control a lot of the second half, and thought we deserved to win.
How much of the focus was there today, Sam, on the start to the game after last week against Port Adelaide?
Yeah, if you look at the best teams in the competition, we've been blown away early quite a few times and been able to get back into it. So Melbourne did something similar to us a few weeks ago, and there was two. I talked to the players before the game. There's 2 aspects to this game. That the first part of the game and your first contest, your first moment, is going to be really important, because we know that if we aren't on from the start, Brisbane can score really quickly. And then in the back of the mind, you need to have the long-term view and the 4-quarter game. And I thought our starts of the game, it was 3 goals each pretty quickly. But if that was 3 goals to them and 3 points to us, then the game sort of starts to get out of hand. So the performance under pressure of the boys was really good, and that gave us a lot of looks.
Sometimes younger sides can sort of tire as the middle of the season comes and towards the end of the season. How impressed are you that the effort's still there from this young side coming? You haven't even had to buy yet.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the physical profile of the group. I think Peter Burge, our fitness boss, has done a great job of getting them not just fit but confident in their fitness. I think their belief that they can run out a game now, our second halves, we had a nightmare third quarter. I think at one stage it was like 140-11 collective third quarters. But since we did some work on it and we had a look at some things, and the collective fitness of the group, short injury list, good continuity with the playing group has meant that we've got a great confidence in the second halves. And the players talked about it. Dylan Moore made the comment after the game that not just do we know and have confidence that we can run out the game, but we're willing to do it to do the work. So being fit doesn't mean anything if you're not willing to work, and I think their willingness to work through their own individual pain barriers was on show today.
Aside from that first half, Sam, against Port Adelaide, you've had a really good last month before. Is there sort of a real belief in building amongst the group?
Yeah, the results, we're always after the results, but really what we are trying to do is show progress. Even in some of those losses, we saw some steps forward. I can remember we had a really rough day against Geelong in the second half, in particular about round 4. But I remember Will Day out of that game was one of those players. It's like, okay, him as a midfielder under a lot of pressure, he's actually really standing up. And so even through some of the losses, we're seeing some progress, and some of the belief is being embedded that the base and the foundations that we're building are there. And at different stages through the course of this year, we haven't quite had everything that we've needed to be able to compete against the best sides in particular. But today, they're one of the best sides in the competition, and we can tick that box and say, okay, on our day, we can compete with the best.
How important was Jai Newcomb's game, especially that third quarter? I think the Lions actually put something on him in the last quarter. It really set the tone in that third quarter.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about progress and you're talking about players who are making progress through the early part of the year, I think one of the things that our players have been fantastic at is you don't have to have a good 4 quarters. If you have a bad quarter, that doesn't mean the next quarter has to be the same way. And I think, so if I looked at James Sicily, Jai Newcomb, Lloyd Meek, Jacob Kazitsky, they all had reasonably quiet or didn't play particularly well in the first half, but then were able to make changes to their game. They had the mental resilience to think through what they needed to do at half time, and then their second halves, I thought the third quarter, Jai, but I thought Meekie and Sicily were fantastic in the third quarter, and having players who can turn their own game around is what turns games around.
Just a word, Sam, on Conor McDonald's game. So 2 goals, 3 goals, assists, just about involving everything good for you guys today.
Yeah, I thought his ball use. We've known for a long time that C-Mac's a really nice kick, and he's always sort of stuck on high teens, or he's had 20 possessions last week. I think he had 28 and a couple of goals, but he's kicking inside 50, and his running power has been fantastic for us. And I think the front half and the forward mix that we're using, whether it's Brockman, Butler, McKenzie when he came on as the sub, I think that group, along with the leadership of Bruce, you put that small group together, they put enormous pressure on, but they can also hurt you going the other way. And I think, we've been knowing that was coming for C-Mac for a long time, and finally, it dropped. And he's a guy that works really hard. We have to kick him off the training track every day, so it's no surprise.
How are you concerned about James Sicily possibly getting cited again? He was in that tackle with McCluggage. It's hard to assess blame on some of those ones, but are you a bit concerned he might come under the microscope again?
I haven't rewatched it. I know the one because I felt for Hugh, and obviously he had to go off the ground, so thoughts go to him first and foremost. But at the time, I thought it was such a desperate, act. He's diving and just managed to get fingertips onto him to get him. So I thought it was a great tackle, but I haven't rewatched it.
There was a memo, Sam, came out in the week about their sling tackles.
Yep.
And whatnot. Did you discuss that with the players or show the players, or is it too confusing if you sort of go down that path?
Oh, the players are really well aware of the tackling, and I think we're seeing changes of technique, guys not trying to bring other people to ground deliberately, and there has been a change. I think it's a slow burn. It's quite difficult in the heat of the battle. I think the players are doing a pretty good job.
Thanks, guys.
No worries. Thanks.